hope you're all doing well. So, welcome, guys, to my channel. It's been a little while. Um, it's good to have you all. I'm here to do this very complex discussion on gang stalking. I know that a lot of you are not familiar with what the term gang stalking means, because I won't blame you, because first of all, I would like to say that the it's not supported by many, okay? So it's not a school of thought that many people, including authorities, um, you know, accept, but it is reality for those who've experienced gang stalking. It is a reality. So welcome again, guys, to my channel. I'm just going to talk to you. I'm just going to ask you, first of all, to click on the link. Click on the link below on this video, and after this particular live stream, and then sign the petition. So guys, if you know, I have a charity. I have a charity organization. So you may not know why I'm doing this. I do have a charity organization, and things are about to kickstart. And so I like to do things like that. So when you see me saying what I'm saying, is because of who I am. Okay, so welcome, guys. So what is gang stalking? Let me just talk you through my my own experience. Okay, I'll talk to you about my own experiences just briefly. And yeah, gang stalking is real, okay. And if maybe hearing this first time on my channel, okay, maybe you'll do well if you can find, just search it on platforms such as YouTube. You do well to research on that. Okay, gang stalking is real, and as a victim of gang stalking myself, I can assure you it is real. So let me just briefly tell you about what has happened to me and what has led me to talk about it. And I've also seen several people on YouTube and other platforms are talking about this subject. So guys, this issue, so for years I have lived in fear, okay? I'm not in fear anymore, okay? But I have lived in fear and also anxiety. That's in the past, okay? I'm just going to make this crystal clear that fear and anxiety was in the past, okay? When I didn't know what was happening, okay? So as a victim of organizing gang stalking, I lived in fear. So how did this come about? A corrupt official actually orchestrated my gang stalking. Okay, so this campaign, he recruited neighbors, for example, my neighbors, okay, recruiting them. So neighbors and communities in areas I've lived, okay, to stalk and harass me, okay, both publicly and privately. And this is the sort of like covert abuse, covert harassment. So if you just a passerby, you wouldn't know that that group of people that seem to be working together are actually harassing me. You wouldn't know that. That is why it is covert. But they let me know they are there to harass me. So why are they harassing me covertly like that? So the aim is to run me mental, is to run the victim mental. And if, say for example, you responded, say for example, I go out on the high street and they let me know they are harassing me, okay, and they're gonna so if I respond to that, they're gonna look at me and say, oh, look at her, she's crazy, let's call the police. That is how covert gang stalking is, okay? Is to make the victim look crazy, and it's also to turn the victim mental. So, and some of this is also, they hope that you can actually take your own life. And guys, we've heard time and time again when people have taken their own lives and nobody knows what has happened. It's some of this, but not me. And so, yeah, these things happen. But unfortunately, you know what? I have the skills, I have the stamina, I have the knowledge and the education to actually look at these individuals like they look like ghosts, emotionless, you know. So yeah, those are the tactics of gang stalking, and it's not limited to being stalked on the streets. A neighbor next door will start to gang stalk you. It also involves your social media, your emails, your email account, your phone. They tap in, they see exactly everything you do because they need to keep tabs on you. And part of that gang stalking is also, for example, you apply for a job, they are going, so mainly, guys, I can assure you, an individual next door cannot organize gang stalking. It has to be an official, and we know that people that can do that, police officers, not good police officers, but corrupt ones. Okay, and mind you, I'm not calling police officers corrupt. In every industry, you are going to come across individuals that are corrupt. For example, we have doctors that kill people rather than treat them. And some of them, you know, their patients. We've seen that on the news time and time again. And also we have industries such as the accounting, okay? We have unscrupulous accountants that will manipulate figures and, you know, steal from the company they work for. So, yeah, it's all across board, okay? So it's not in just one particular industry. But yeah, these are corrupt, rotten apples in the police that, you know, maybe you've brushed shoulders. For me, guys, I don't have any criminal records, and I'm not 21, I'm not 25 either, and I've never had a criminal record one time in my life because I've lived a clean life. I don't have any history of committing crime and so on. So you might be wondering, so why would a police officer target you? So it wasn't directly, how did they know me to target me like that? Obviously it has nothing to do with what I did personally. It's because I was representing a minor, okay, and then, you know, they took it from there. So yeah, as I said, guys, for as I said, like for years I lived in fear and anxiety, and I said that's gone. Okay, I'm a very confident woman, and I'm very strong. And yeah, so don't pretend you are strong if you are not. Get help when if you need it. Okay, so get help. To tell family, tell authorities, and yeah. So I'm coming here because of what I've experienced with this gang stalking, and some of these gang stalkers, they watch me. The perpetrators and those masterminding the gang stalking, they are so afraid because they listening to check if I'm going to mention their names. Because one thing that they've done, they made a very big mistake. They were running around to talk to authorities to say I was this unstable person, I was this untrustworthy person, and a lot of things that you won't believe. But yeah, so as I said, I lived in fear and anxiety in the past, that is in the past, as a victim of organized gang stalking. So as I said, a corrupt official orchestrated this campaign, neighbors and communities stalk and harass me both publicly and privately. Okay, so a neighbor next door could have actually be watching a victim in their own home. Okay, so you leave your home and a victim leaves their home. This particular, very sick individual comes in or sends people, they place cameras. Okay, because sometimes people, the way that people judge you is because of how they've lived their lives. So they think by putting some camera in your home, they are going to catch you committing crime. They're going to catch you doing the unimaginable. But this particular human being is surprised that he has found nothing to incriminate me except normal life. If I need to shower, if I need to sleep, that sort of thing. Okay, so yeah, as I said, he orchestrated this campaign, recruiting neighbors and communities to stalk and harass me both publicly and privately, doing this covertly. Okay, so I have had to endure covert harassment, and whenever I step outside my home, whether it be on the streets or going into the supermarket or or any shops I visit. So this individual has infiltrated every aspect of my personal life, hacking into my emails and phones to monitor my activities constantly. So, why would he put surveillance? And how does he know I'm going out? He knows I'm going out because I'm getting ready. And why does he have to use neighbors? Because how can somebody from another city travel from another city to catch me at the high street, to catch the train station? So he's going to use, so he's gang stalkers will use your neighbor. Okay, they will use people in the community, in the locality where you reside. Okay, so if you are not a victim, please, please, please do not dismiss this. Okay, do not dismiss this, and then one day you go back and say, I heard about this. And if you are in doubt about what I'm talking about, there are people who've done videos on social media, including Google this, and you will understand. Some of them have actually stalking. Okay, they is okay. So for me, I'm just going to share with you. So yeah, that's the reason why gang stalker, the masterminder who recruits other people. And for me, guys, I've had people in my residency alcohol gang stalking me, and they literally thought I had a lot of money. They are unemployable, okay, because they are drug addicts and alcoholics. They have talking about all kinds of, so this is an accommodation where this corrupt law official, bunch of criminals from the justice system that he knew, and he would bribe them to have this is what gang stalking, these are some. But if you listen to other videos with other people, they will tell you different things. you know, like some videos, some of them, maybe if they live next door to you, they'll be flashing. To experience this after I was watching videos on gang stalking, and it looks like they tried to copy and duplicate the things I was listening to. And I'm thinking how odd, because I already know that. But anyway, some of them, they say these are the sort of things they experience and law. So I'm not going to go into detail and spoil it for you. So the concept really you need to study, guys, because if even happening in your life and you don't know you're being gang stalked, look, I'm not promoting paranoia. We don't want paranoia to cause people unnecessary worries and mental health like that. It's not the video. So the purpose of this video, I'm actually bringing awareness. So the fact that, if you haven't gone through it, just don't dismiss it, okay? Just do not dismiss it, because there's people who are actually going through it. And apparently these gang stalkers, what they do is they want everybody to believe that you are crazy. So as I'm speaking, my gang stalkers could actually be communicating with maybe law officials that they've spoken to about me. So, for example, I'll tell you the narratives that they were saying I grew up in care, and that I don't have a mother, I do not have a father, and that I was picked up on the street, and then I went into care. And the story goes on to say that as I grew up, that I, as a young person, I started to take drugs and alcohol, and that all that messed me up. And that then after I left care, they say that I then went into assisted accommodation, and that I'm in bad shape, sleeping because I have drug addictions, and I'm, guys, that's not the narrative. I'll tell you a little bit about me if you don't know me. So I have a family. In fact, my father lives in London, okay, and he's lived in London for over 40 years. Uh, he's lived in London for over 40 years, and maybe I should say for over 50 years actually. And yeah, I have brothers, I have sisters, I have cousins, I have uncles and aunties, and some of my aunties live in near London, and uncles, and some of them are actually medical professionals. I'm talking about quite senior medical professionals, okay? And so they would know if their own niece had a condition, okay? So I'm just telling you about myself a little bit. And also, I've got children of my own. They are young adults. I raise them. And one of those children is actually, she's done law. She's all gone on to do her master's. I raised her. She's at home, and she got that from me. So I've got two children that I've raised of my own, and I'm proud of that. So to say that I don't have a family is an understatement. But because he was watching me, because I knew what was going on at that address, I didn't want any family members to visit me, okay? Because I knew it was a criminal gang. And so, because they wouldn't know if they're followed and targeted, right? They wouldn't know that, because that's what these criminals do. They'll follow and target and try to harm people you love if they can't harm you. Okay? So, this has been my experience with gang stalking. I'm talking about what I've gone through. Guys, at first it was so difficult for me to open up, because I realized that it is a very, very delicate subject. So I was very cautious, say, because to sound part where people say, oh, that's paranoia, oh, that's psychosis, oh, they are losing their mind. I didn't want that to happen to me, but I've been around this bloke for a long time, and I've observed, I've listened to what others say, and boy, they are right. They are right. They are spot on. So yeah, these are some of my experiences. So yeah, so this individual is a law official, okay, a very corrupt, and some of the things he, trains those that he recruits to do to me, you can tell that he's a madman, and he's a danger to himself and dangers to the community. Unfortunately, the communities that he serves, okay, because some of these people that are recruited, if you look at them, they are mentally unstable, they have financial issues. There was one woman recently, it was accommodation issue. She tried to retire on me. She was literally poisoning me because she was told if she can take my life, right? And then, she'll be a lot of money. So she wanted to retire. She wanted to retire on my back, blood money. And so, yeah, I can tell you story by story, but we are not here to discuss that for the day. So, yeah. So, as I say, this individual has infiltrated every aspect of my personal life, hacking into my emails and phones to monitor my activities constantly. And I've talked about the reasons for monitoring me constantly. He knows what I want to do. For example, if I apply for housing, as I was doing, he would contact the housing officials and tell them that she's crazy. And if I'm unemployed and I'm in receipt of, say for example, benefits because I'm not, he would infiltrate the benefit system and find who is dealing with my job search. Because when you're unemployed and you are in receipt of benefits, you have to go for job search, and so he would recruit some of these individuals. That's so sad, right? To really try and set me up to look like I didn't attend a job search appointment so that they can sanction my money, so he can put me in financial difficulties. And the reason he would have loved to put me in financial difficulties, guys, is because he wanted me to fail to pay my bills, to pay my rent. He wanted me on the streets. As I said, he wanted me dead, right? He even hired a hit woman. He's also hired hitmen. Okay, so and so he tried everything. He tried black magic. He tried all of that, and he just saw that his own life was falling apart. That those things that he was throwing at me spiritually were not working, but he just sees a boomerang. Like, you don't do that to everybody because you need to know who they are. And he's learned some hard lessons, and I just sit there and laugh. But yeah, so version of my privacy extends to my own home, okay, as I previously said, where secret surveillance is conducted by